Hello and welcome to Lofty Pursuits and Public Displays of Confection in Tallahassee, Florida, where we make hard candy. Today we're going to make some crystal flower candy, this time in the shape of a sunflower. This batch's flavor will be honey. This was made originally as a custom order for a wedding, but we liked the results so much, we thought we'd show you it and start making it at Lofty Pursuits for a little while. The table we're pouring the hot sugar on is a special table from the late 1800s. It was made specifically for this, and we're going to be stirring in our food coloring and adding it. We're going to do this before the table cools the candy down to the point we need it to. We need it to behave like a clay, not like a liquid. We use small wooden spoons to stir in the food coloring and let the water boil off that's in the food coloring. This keeps the candy from getting sticky. Our color palette today will have 3 colors: brown, yellow, and green. This is a part of our Crystal Candy series that we started earlier this year. Now that the candy has cooled a bit, we're going to cut the colors apart and then fold them on the cooling table to even out the temperature within each piece. Sunflowers are fascinating plants, and they have attracted the attention of everyone from painters like Van Gogh to scientists. And one of the reasons I think people like them is they all face the same way in a field. It's not one sunflower, it's a bunch of them that are amazing. And they all face the same way because they are heliotropic. This means they follow the sun. So as they turn to the sun, they all turn in time with each other like a slow dance of flowers, and their petals all open up and they're out there looking at you, sort of like faces. And this is one of the things that make them cool, and we're going to try to capture this in our candy. And now it's time for me to use the candy maker's hook. On this I'm going to take the yellow candy, fold it over, and pull it again and again to trap air bubbles. This is going to change the nature of the candy. It's going to change its texture and increase its surface area with these little air bubbles. This makes it taste better when you eat the candy. It's also going to make the color brighter, and while it doesn't appear so on this video yet, the brightening happens after the candy cools off. It's more noticeable, the color change, when I pull the brown sugar, because I'm going to need the center of the little seeds to be lighter than the outside. And when I pull that, you'll be able to see its color change as I pull. I mentioned earlier that I needed some green candy too, and I haven't made any yet. I'm going to make it on the heating table. You see, I need such a tiny amount of green. If I try to make it on the cooling table, the color would spread and I'd end up with more green than I could use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the hot clear candy and add just a drop of green food coloring in it. I've done this to a pocket inside the candy, and I'm going to fold that over again and again with the pocket sealed, and it's going to color this candy. Besides the sunflower being the only flower that has the name flower in its name, it also has other peculiar characteristics. It's actually not one flower, but a group of flowers. If you think of it, each flower only makes one seed, and a sunflower has a Fibonacci sequence of a spiral of seeds in it when it's done. And we end up having multiple seeds, and each seed has a flower. And those are tiny flowers in the center of the head of the sunflower. The yellow petals we think of as the petals of the sunflower are called rays, and each of them are a special type of flower in themselves. Multiple flowers on the flower head. I'm making the center of the flower out of a group of cylinders. The center of the cylinder is pulled lighter brown candy, and the outside wrap is a dark brown candy. The nice thing about candy is I can do multiplication with it. In other words, I'm going to pull one long log out and cut it in half and keep on pulling it and cutting it. It'll get thinner, but it'll make all the cylinders that I need, and they'll all be roughly the same size. And now to make the rays around the head of the sunflower. And I'm going to do this by making one large block of yellow. I'm going to put some clear on one side that's going to act as a spacer to differentiate the different petals. And then I'm going to take 2 cold triangles of clear, and they're going to shape the top of the petals as best as I can. Now, I'm only going to make one giant petal, and then I'm going to stretch it and cut it in half, and then I'll have 2. And I'm going to continue to repeat this until I have enough to wrap around our seeds. can try this candy for yourself. You can get it at www.pd.net. You can also come by our store in Tallahassee. We're right off I-10 on the Thomasville Road exit, and we make candy most days during the week, but not on a particular schedule. Most varieties of sunflowers are native to North America. There are 2 varieties native to South America. And because of that, it's become the state flower of Kansas. But it's been exported, and it grows beautifully in some other countries. It's actually the national flower of the Ukraine, and the Ukraine over there grows more sunflowers and produces more sunflower oil than any other country in the world. All that's left to do is put on the final wrap. But at one end of the final wrap, I make a clean square edge and I add my green. So when I roll it up, we'll have a stem on our sunflower. I know I took some liberties here with the brown sunflower seeds. Real sunflower seeds are black if they're used for oil, and black and gray striped if they're used for eating. But gray doesn't show up well in candy, and I thought the brown would look better. And now to our new piece of equipment, a Thomas Mills batch roller. Well, it's new to us. They started making this model around 1895. I've got a catalog page from an old catalog for it. And when I found it, I was very happy. It has been able to do what it was advertised to do back in the late 1800s, increase my productivity. We can now make more candy with the same number of people. And what it does is it rolls the candy. It does the job that I used to do. There are some templates I have located under those mats I use to protect my table. If you look carefully, you'll see that we're getting ready for candy cane season. And those are templates for making candy canes. We're not going to be using those today. Now we have to pull the log of candy into rods, and I've been calling them rods, but the industry term for them is canes. This term was borrowed from the glass industry, where canes of glass were pulled and cut into beads using a similar technique called milleflorus. I want to take this time to apologize to you for not putting out a video lately. We've been very busy making candy, and we've been doing a lot of work preparing for a Kickstarter campaign, which is now over and was quite successful. We're going to be traveling around the country to shoot some really cool candy making videos for you. And if you didn't know about the Kickstarter campaign and want to find out what we're going to do, just go to Kickstarter and check us out. I want to personally thank you for all the unbelievable support through that Kickstarter campaign. We're going to be able to do things I never thought we could afford to do. Thank you so much. The last step of the process is to cut it into pieces, and then we can go for the quality control check. Fortunately, I have a group of people here who are happy to volunteer to be my quality control checkers. I think this may be the first time that when somebody saw my candy up close, they were actively unsure if they should eat it or just save it as a piece of art. We appreciate you watching our video today. If you liked our candy and want to try it for yourself, you can go to our website, www.pd.net. You can also subscribe to us here on YouTube to see more of our videos. Check out the rest of our channel. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter too. And if you ever come to Tallahassee, we'd love to see you in person. We call our candy public displays a confection because we do it in front of the public. And you can come by. We don't make candy all the time, but we do make a lot of it. And you can see us make candy in Tallahassee. Thank you for watching.
Mr. Andy Williams and Derek Nash there.